Good morning, Bill. I see you with my Hobo Kelly glasses. Good morning. Good morning. Billy D and Pops. Who else just popped in? Hello. Hello. Good morning, Derek. Sir D. Anderson. Good morning. What a beautiful morning. Joe D. Good morning. I see people. I see live people. Good morning, Herbie. And Stevie Price. Good morning, Steve. Albiana Mustafa. Good morning. Albiana, that's a pretty name. Good morning. Yeah, Joe, Friday. Unexpected last minute appointment. I was called away. So we missed it too. Good morning, Laura. Yeah, Friday was an unexpected, unanticipated appointment that I could not say no to. Good morning, Cat Meowzilla. Meow. Good morning. All is well. Good morning. This is a great chance. Good morning, Nerdy. What is Pops doing here on a Monday? What the heck is his head doing here? Good morning. You want me to go away, Nerdy? I'll go away if you want. We'll just leave the screen with the cup and you guys can talk for an hour, hanging out. We'll just leave the screen like this. What do you think? Nerdy, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on that idea. Vegas double taken. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just leave the tea with Pops screen and hit the road, pal. And then you guys could comment. I'd rather hang with Pops than a mug. But Pops, I've been called a mug before. People have mentioned my mug once in a while to me. It's like, what the, look at that mug. Look at the mug on that guy. They were talking about me. Good morning, Exception. Lynette. Good morning, Derek Anderson. You're hilarious. It's a very handsome mug. Vaggie. Mug shot. Good morning, Joe D's. Okay. You have a wonderful day. Be careful on those roofs. Good morning, Exception. It wasn't that bad of weather in Michigan this weekend, was it? Wasn't as hot as I anticipated it was going to be. Humid, though. A couple of times it got a little torchy. But it wasn't all that bad, Jimmy Maxwell. I had my first Chinese food in quite some time. I haven't had Chinese food in quite a while. And I gotta tell you, I like Chinese food. I really do. You get your egg rolls. You get your egg foo young. You can keep the chow mein. You can have all the chow mein you want. You can have mine. My favorite thing is the fortune cookies. Give me 5 people that like fortune cookies. Right, Derek? I love egg foo young. This place that I found, I'd never been there. And boy, was it good. Boy, was it good. I got the chicken egg foo young. Boom. The brown gravy. How about fortune cookies? You guys like fortune cookies? Lynette likes the fortunes, but not so much the cookies. You know, one time I bought a case I was so jonesing for fortune cookies, I bought a case. It had like 100 cookies in it, all individually wrapped. Okay? And after about the 20th cookie, over a course of 2 or 3 days, I thought, oh, I'm going to eat all these. I didn't eat another one in the case. I actually over-cookied myself. My fortune in the cookie that I got yesterday. Oh, the dark gravy, brown gravy Vegas. The brown. I prefer the brown. Who wants to see the fortune that we got in the cookie yesterday? Give me 5 people that are saying, Pops, just show us the fortune. I want to tell you guys something though. I think I got the wrong cookie. Nerdy, I think I got the wrong cookie. There were 2. I got the wrong one. I think this one was Diddy. This was supposed to be for Diddy. Okay? I'm not kidding you, Steve. This one was supposed to be Diddy's fortune. Right, Derek. I got Diddy's fortune cookie. Whoops. Sorry about that, Diddy. I didn't mean to open your cookie. And then I opened the other one and it was mine. The other one was definitely mine. Here was the other one. How do you like the word you have to share? It didn't say you can share, you might share, maybe you'll share. This fortune's telling me you have to share. It's a pretty good one. That one's a keeper. That's right. Diddy, you can have yours, I'll keep mine. Okay? Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. I'm compelled, Derek. Okay? How does the fortune cookie know? Why are fortune cookies so smart? It knew Diddy's. It told Diddy, not too much oil. And then it tells Pop, give it away. These are smart cookies. I don't even think they're fortune cookies. I think they're genius cookies. Okay? Oh, yeah. That's so funny. Okay. Just 2, Jimmy. Just 2. I opened mine and I opened Diddy's. I wish that they'd have given me more cookies. I'll be honest with you. When you open the bag, you're like, okay, how many cookies am I going to get? And I think they calculate it. They're like, this is about a 2-person meal that he ordered, so we'll give him 2 cookies. I'm like, couldn't you have thrown a 30 in there? Couldn't you have thrown a 3rd charity cookie in there? I wonder what the fortune would have said. What do you think the fortune would have said? Good morning. Kim, thanks for the cup. By far my favorite cup. Okay. Happy birthday to Michael. Happy birthday to Michael. Somebody just got it. That was a dry bag, right, Herbie? Herbie, was that a dry bag? Quick. Was that a dry bag? I learned something last week. Okay, that was a dry bag, Derek. How well we can handle that one, though, right? As long as they don't trick me and, put out something like Yellow Skies by IP Freely or somebody like that. Okay? Remember those jokes when you were a kid? Yeah, did you ever read the book Yellow Skies by IP Freely? It's pronounced Me Chow. Okay. Good. Happy birthday, Me Chow. Okay, now we went full dry bag. I didn't even pronounce the name right. So, thanks, I needed that. Okay, that's another reason you don't pronounce names on here. Good morning, Pacers. Kimberly. Good morning. Okay, so dry bag is about money or fruit. Okay. Mr. Phillips. That was one we did too, right? Mother may I, and then spell cup. Say mother may I, and then spell cup. I did this with a friend of mine. He was not the smartest guy in the good morning from Croatia, Cappy. He was not the smartest guy on the picnic. Or whatever those sayings are. I told him mother may I, and then spell cup. And he's thinking, and then all of a sudden he goes, mother may I, C-A-T. I was like, bro, you spelled cat. Yeah, he was very good at making motorcycles though. He was a chopper guy. He could chop a motorcycle in a weekend. Okay, but don't ask him to spell cup. And he was for real. That was the real deal. He was like, and his name Randy. I'm like Randy. I could say his name now because Randy isn't alive anymore. Rest in peace. Randy. Randy can't spell cup. So the joke went over like a lead balloon. I'll give you another one. What is this one? Okay, I know this one. You ready? Pete and repeat. We're sitting on a fence. Pete fell off. Who was left? If you're under 8, you'll say repeat. And you do. Then you go, Pete and repeat. We're sitting on a fence. Pete fell off. Who was left? If you can get them like 3 times before they get it, you did a good job. Okay? Try that on someone under 8 and see if it works. Okay? Pete and repeat. We're sitting on a fence. Pete fell off. Who was left? Okay? The Walsh was left. Okay? Good morning. I'm feeling goofy this morning. Is that okay with you guys? Give me 5 people that are feeling goofy this morning. Good morning. It's a good morning. Mellow's here. Whenever Mellow's here, you feel more mellow. It's weird. Let's do something. Here we go. Where is it? Thank you, Mellow. Okay. Goof it up, Lynette, all morning long. All morning long. Let's just be goof-a-doofs. So last week, we were reading an article with Heather Jackson, and we got about halfway through it on Thursday. We didn't get it finished on Friday. Friday, right about 8:30, I got a phone call and an immediate need for an appointment. I had to do it. I had to go ahead and take care of it. So I had to cancel the show with 0 notice. I apologize for last Friday, but it was circumstances outside of my control. Today I'm in complete control. Sandy, would you write down for me real quick? Remind me. I was trying to send someone to your site, and I kept messing up. I don't remember if it's a .com or a .net. And I was trying to send somebody to your site. Would you remind me? mountainmushlab.com. Okay, I'll get that person sent off to you today. Mountain Mush Lab, you guys all know it better than I do. He's got great liquid cultures and infused coffees. Sandman. So this is somebody we know too, Sandy. You're used to this person. But I couldn't remember your situation. Okay? Sandman. I'll get that information to you this morning right after the show. Okay. So Zachy, the lady was talking about her son Zachy and his childhood seizures. By age 9, he was in hospice care. They had tried 17 different pharmaceuticals, special diets, and every alternative therapy imaginable for her son Zachy. And she got him some CBD. He was the second child in that program after Charlotte, the Charlotte's Web situation. Okay. Let's go back and finish up that article. Why focus on real-world data? This is an interviewer asking her. Why focus on real-world data instead of controlled clinical trials? What has your collaboration with Johns Hopkins revealed so far? Remember that she's piloting a program. She had done it in 2012, working with doctors, etc., to inform them of the value of CBD. And then she said we took those same lessons and we're now doing the same type of program with psilocybin. Because that's how 99% of the population uses psychedelics. I've been to Hopkins, where they do these controlled studies, and it's beautiful, but that's not how most people take psychedelics. They're not putting on their blindfold and a playlist in a very curated setting the vast majority of the time. Clinical studies, this is such valid point she's making. Clinical studies are very narrow with small numbers looking at something very specific. We're more interested in what signals we see so we can chase those down. We want thousands of people versus 30. Our approach is to collect baseline data prior to experience, then a couple of days before, the day of, a couple days after, weeks after, and months after. That's the most rigorous way to do prospective observational research. I was surprised how many participants were either first-time users or had only used psychedelics a couple times. Usually observational studies capture people who've used psychedelics a lot. But this study was big enough that we had a nice cohort of first-time users. We were also able to publish comparative results between people of color versus white participants. What really stands out is how little harm actually occurs. Some people did feel like they needed psychological support afterwards, but it's a very low occurrence. Even people using psychedelics on their own aren't experiencing the kind of harm that people, especially doctors, expected. Here's another little bit. What are the most common questions people call your hotline with? And what does that tell you about where people need the most support? The vast majority are first-time users, or people who have tried psychedelics as teenagers, and this may be the first time they're doing it with intention. Maybe they didn't have a good experience, so they want to be more prepared this time. Our service is different from what Fireside Project does so well. We're your first stop before having your trip. Whereas Fireside takes calls if you're in the middle of having a challenging experience or need integration support afterwards. So there's an outfit out there, the Fireside Project. If you're in the middle of an experience and it isn't going well, it isn't sitting well with your psyche and maybe even physically, they're a resource that you can call for guidance during and right after. Her service tends to spend time with you before and get you prepared in a set and setting way and informationally before. The most common questions are about drug interactions because they might be on pharmaceuticals and they don't want to do anything. I think we can find it online, Nerdy. The most common questions are about drug interactions because they might be on pharmaceuticals and they don't want to do anything dangerous. All our information, research, and data-centric is research and data-centric. We're telling you what published peer-reviewed research suggests, not our opinion. We don't give medical advice. So another frequent question is, how can I have this conversation with my doctor, counselor, or psychiatrist? Don't give medical advice. Dosing is another big question. We don't tell anybody how much to take. Same. But we say, here's what the research suggests, and we give them a range. They want to know how to mitigate harm and have the best experience, so we talk about set and setting. We can also talk about quality issues. This is a big one for Pops, you know it, I hit this one a lot. There's research about mushroom chocolate bars that contain synthetic research chemicals. So we help them navigate that lack of transparency. A top referral source is doctors, because they don't always have the time, confidence, or fluency for these conversations, so they send people to us. The doctor's like, here's a resource, reach out to them, get as much information as you can from them to provide you value and insight. What mistakes from cannabis legalization do you hope the psychedelic movement can avoid? First of all, and we believe this organizationally, there's no way nature should be illegal. Good morning, MVP. Can we agree with that one? That's my soapbox. There's no way nature should be illegal. Decriminalizing just makes so much sense. We need to continue stepping towards that because we know that the war on drugs has failed, and we know disproportionately who it affects. I think psychedelics are different from cannabis. The medicalization we're seeing is good, but we need to keep it affordable so access is available to everybody. In Colorado, when recreational cannabis happened, we lost the medical market because businesses could make more money selling it recreationally. Psychedelics will want to be very careful about that. I'm not opposed to recreational use. People should have full autonomy to do what they want. Decriminalization takes care of that. But through the medical model, we need to make sure it continues to be widely available and affordable. Gosh, this lady is speaking Pop's language. Some people are comfortable using psychedelics outside the clinical context. But there are many people who will need that prescription pad. They want their doctor involved. We should allow for all of that. Boy, is this good, you guys? What we need to do is make sure that there's corporate social responsibility and the companies are giving back. That it's not just a cash grab. I want you to hear that one again. The people you want to work with are people that are giving back. Not just cash grabbing. You want to work with people that give as much as they receive. You'll know then the motives are pure. That's when you'll know that the motive of that provider or that outfit, that lab, you will immediately know what their motives are. It's not just a cash grab. Both cannabis and psychedelics stand on the shoulders of people who have used these medicines indigenously for thousands of years. So let's give back to these communities. End of article. Did I just see somebody had an anniversary yesterday? Congratulations, two cuties. Mike and Kim, congratulations on your anniversary. Couple of cuties. Good article there. Give me 5 people that thought that was a pretty good article. Not just pretty good, that thing was scotch on. Oh gosh, the smell is amazing. What is it, Pops? Herbie. What is it? What a weird thing to harvest. If you get it too early, it turns into like little pieces of cottage cheese. If you get it late, not late, you get it like now, you shave, it's enigma. It's enigma. Shave it off right at I took a bread knife and shaved it off right at the substrate. So now you have all of this about that thick, but it does still kind of want to break apart. And then I took a paintbrush, a dry paintbrush, and brushed waited till it dried, and brushed all of the substrate off of the bottom of the fruit. Okay? Jesus Christ, it's a strain of mushroom. Kimberly, I'm going to ask one of you guys to try it. Give me a number. I'm going to send somebody a nice little supply of Enigma. That person will be the first person to tell me the number that's in my chute right now. It's a number between 1 and 50. Kill the game. Kill the game. We already have it. The very first person, Captain Obvious. She said it's a 42. And by golly, by gum, it's a 42. Captain Obvious, send me your address. Remember when you asked, could you be a lab rat? You're a lab rat now. You don't even need the certification. Okay? So she's got her lab rat situation there. She's mentioned it. Boom. You're a lab rat. Automatic. There it goes. Okay? Captain Obvious. About 3 weeks ago, she sent me a letter. Pops, where do I get lab rat certification? You're getting one now, baby. Give me another one. I need another lab rat. Go. Give me a number between 1 and 50. You guys are going to want to see this enigma. Enigma. It's quite the thing. Okay? Vegas, I have not tried it yet myself. I plan on it though when my setting is right. Okay? I've been in touch with 2 guys. Love it. Love it. Great effect. Give me a number between 1 and 50. You can put up to 3 of them on your line at one time. Or you can say alternator. But alternator won't win you anything. Okay, keep going. I haven't seen the number yet on my screen. First person to say the number is going to receive a pack of supplemental supplements, Enigma style. Okay? And we're sending some of this today to you, Nerdy, for giving away this weekend. So you guys will have some at your situation this weekend. I have not seen the number yet. Okay? I have not seen the number. Not even close. No, Jesus Christ, I really haven't. That's never happened to me. Not footprints. I've heard things up in the ceiling. I'm still looking for the number. Yeah, Kim, I'm going to be sending like about maybe a quarter pound or something of it to you guys. It's going to be in the mail to Nerdy today of the Enigma. I thought you guys would enjoy having an opportunity to enjoy. Okay. I'm still waiting for the number. I haven't seen it, you guys. I wonder if I'm going to have to give a hint. Is it almost time to give a hint? Never mind. Jimmy Maxwell just said it. Jimmy the Maxwell. 38. 38 was the number, and Jimmy knew it. 38. Jimmy Maxwell. Jimmy, send me your address. Please do it today, and we'll send you some Enigma, and you will be officially a lab rat. Okay? Congratulations to Jimmy the Maxwell. I like seeing Jimmy here. Let's read another small article this morning, and then we're going to jump over to our Brene Brown book. You're welcome, Nerdy. I have to get in the mail to you today, so it should get there by Thursday or Friday. Shouldn't have a problem. Okay? Before diving into psychedelics, yes, Vegas, it is. Yes. The Enigma is available through my email. If you write to me, I'll tell you what's going on. Before diving into psychedelics, our practitioners recommend examining your motivations. Check in. Check in to see the why behind the journey. Ask yourself if you're trying to escape from your feelings, or if you are working to be open to what is coming up for you. Or as Ben Askins puts it, use psychedelics not to escape, but to unmask. Give me 5 people that like that. Don't use it to escape. Use it to unmask. If we're using psychedelics to escape, we're kind of using them the same way people use alcohol and hard drugs. And I'm not down with that. Psychedelics aren't an opioid that we knock ourselves out on the couch and we escape. It's in the unmasking. That's been my personal experience, and it's one of the reasons I love working with it so much. Okay? This self-assessment should include an honest rating of your preparedness. To begin, Avery Kalora explains that responsibility begins with honesty. Not just about where you are in your recovery, but about your intentions, your patterns, your readiness, and your support system. Self-inquiry also means getting real about your commitment to the post-psychedelic process. You will get things revealed to you. Know that going in, and be prepared to do something with these things that are revealed. After all, that's the whole purpose. Are you going to integrate the material that comes up? Or are you just going to use the medicine for tripping? Get a solid base. Several practitioners stress that using psychedelics in recovery requires a stable foundation and a robust support system. I would argue that you have a very robust support system here. And maybe not in the context of tea in the morning, but in the context of look at all of the people here that are a resource to you. You've grown close to some of them. You know who you like and who you don't like just through the comments. That person makes me feel great, quality guy or gal. That's your robust support system. I would argue there aren't too many people here that wouldn't provide support if asked. And by support, we're talking about advice and guidance. Professional guidance goes a long way. Garrett Fries says, speaking from personal experience, seek out a guide that has experience in trauma and addiction recovery. Don't try and white knuckle your way through it. Am I right, nerdy? Working with someone that understands the hill you are trying to climb will create space for a more powerful transformation. Peer support is perhaps just as important. Mary Decker reminds us that healing, this is huge. This was a big jump that I had to finally take in order to cure my cocaine addiction. I had to get connected to a group and a society and a culture that was seeking improvement. If I had not got connected, I would have ended up dying in my addiction. Connection is huge, and we, as humans, we know that we're social animals, but for some reason, pride and ego and everything else often keeps us from getting connected. Those are the people you see that are still hurting today, because they can't get past the concept of, in order to get well, you're not going to do it on your own. And things don't get better tomorrow without practice today. Continuing to do what you're doing and expecting a different result, I think we all know that's a definition of insanity. Work with the therapist. Stay grounded in a supportive community. Vegas loneliness is so, and we don't admit when we're lonely. I'm not lonely. What are you talking about? I just won't answer my texts or my phones. I don't open my mail. My blinds are always closed, but I'm not lonely. Really. Open your blinds, open your mail. Text somebody you love and go for a bike ride. You'll feel better. I promise you. Community groups such as Psychedelics in Recovery exist for this very reason. Oh, hermit mode's easy for, I think, all of us here. We're all here because we don't want to be hermits, but I think we tend that way. Be compassionate with yourself. Who's the hardest on you? Who's the hardest on you? It's not Pops. It's certainly not Kim. It's never Nerdy. Who's the hardest on you? Ourselves. Many of our practitioners point out that 9 times out of 10, this work is ultimately about processing the trauma underneath the addiction. Aaron Witter describes the process as, listen to this opening word, gently. Gently. This isn't a rip off your Band-Aid thing. These wounds are deep. We have some deep wounds. And we've chosen one way to handle them that's often not healthy at all. If we're going to change that, we're not ripping a Band-Aid off. We're going to gently approach that wound. Gently uncovering my emotional and developmental shadows. They're not faults, they're not flaws, like we've been told all our lives how flawed you are. Look at your brother. He isn't like that. Only you are. It's a shadow, dude. Just needs some light put on the shadow. It's a closet, dude. Just open the closet. Loneliness, shame will keep us in loneliness. Isolation. You engage in the medicine to process trauma rather than escape it. Boy, that's why I did all the drugs I did. I wasn't processing anything. I was just smoking a Porsche a month and avoiding and getting deeper and deeper. Summer McCool frames it beautifully. Recovery is a sacred unfolding. Recovery is a sacred unfolding. It's one of the reasons I was talking to a guy this weekend, guy I'm working with. And he said, at the end of the day, I am grateful for the addictions and the things that I've gone through in my life, because I have such a frame of reference today that's so rounded and so filled with life experiences where I'm not talking out of the top of my head. I'm talking from my heart. I'm talking from a place I have been. I've walked through that valley. I'm grateful for the valley today. These medicines can release truth, release trauma, and reconnect you with your inner wisdom. You already know the right things to do. You already know how to be impeccable. You know. We've gotten away from it sometimes. Let the medicine reconnect you to that core. She cautions, however, that these recoveries, experiences must be held in a safe, grounded, and trauma-informed space. Tolga Yenemelez offers a sophisticated approach using internal family systems. He suggests you meet the part of yourself that turned into addiction as a survival strategy. Not to shame them, but to understand, transform, and ultimately integrate them. Addiction is almost never the problem. It's an attempted solution to the problem. People turn to substances or compulsive behaviors as a salve for something more painful. Trauma, disconnection, shame, sometimes just unbearable emotions. So instead of vilifying the addiction, we should recognize it as an adaptive resource. For years, I believed I had a poor will. Weak. You're just weaker than most other people. That's why you can't kick. You're a weakling. This is coming from a guy that's trying to play rugby in the Marine Corps. What a diametrically opposed opinion I had of myself. You're just weak. No, not at all. I have found an adaptive response to trauma that I experienced in my life, and maybe a lack of foundational love. The reason psychedelics can be so helpful for addiction is that they help you compassionately confront those underlying wounds. You finally have compassion for yourself. With the use of psychedelics, it increases your empathy, it increases your creativity, it increases your compassion for everything around you. Why wouldn't it for you too? It does. It's one of the reasons it works. Is we finally have a place that we can go for a compassionate response to the struggle. Compassionately confront those underlying wounds. Then there's a window to process them in a more fundamental and sustainable way, which, by the way, is the hard work. A final note. Ibogaine in particular holds tremendous potential for treating life-threatening addictions, such as opioid use disorder. For more on this topic, revisit, and he mentioned some interviews, we're going to be revisiting those from the archive. More on the topic. It's good stuff this morning. This plant medicine is not to be abused. We don't grow it and provide it hoping that people are abusing it. We want to see people get well. We're seeing ourselves get well. Just in the 5 years that we've been doing it, personality's absolutely changed. I used to be pretty greedy. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about greedy about my emotions. I kept them in. I didn't share. I didn't give them away. And I was often very alone, even in a crowd of people. You're just different than everybody else. And the more I'm doing what I'm doing, the more I find out I'm no different from anybody else than the man in the moon. We're all in this one. Let's do just a little bit more in a reading capacity. Brene Brown. Tomorrow we're going to be reading about relief. Relief. Tranquility. Tranquility. But for today, let's talk about this. Thank you, angels. Today, let's talk about this. Foreboding joy. We've been talking about joy, right? But what's foreboding joy? Let's cover it quickly. Brene Brown, Atlas of the Heart, page 215. Michael, I love you. Yep, I love that Michael Patterson. Foreboding joy. When I give talks, people always seem surprised by finding that joy is the most vulnerable human emotion. Given that I study fear and shame, people are hesitant to believe that something as positive as joy can also make us squirm. Then I share what is almost certainly the most surprising finding for most people. Give me 5 people that want to hear it. What's the most surprising finding for most people relative to emotional discovery? Derek wants to hear it. You guys are paying attention? Wait a minute. That means you guys are actually paying attention? Here it is. If you're afraid to lean into good news, wonderful moments, and joy, if you find yourself waiting for the other shoe to drop, you're not alone. It's called foreboding joy, and most of us experience it. This is when things get really quiet. Foreboding joy. We're not alone. Open up the curtain. You're not alone. That's what keeps us so separated. There isn't one person that's listening to this today live or will watch it later today that is alone. We've got plenty of people here and around that are available. And we've all been made in the same image. Not religiously, universally. Foreboding joy is one of those practically universal experiences that everyone thinks of as something only they do. A few people don't experience it, but most of us do. And when it comes to parents, 95% of the parents we interviewed experienced foreboding joy with their children. When we lose our tolerance for vulnerability, joy becomes foreboding. No emotion is more frightening than joy, because we believe if we allow ourselves to feel joy, we're also inviting disaster. We start dress rehearsing tragedy in the best moments of our lives in order to stop vulnerability from beating us to the punch. We're terrified of being blindsided by pain, so we practice tragedy and trauma. But that's a huge cost. When we push away joy, when we squander the goodness that we need to build resilience, strength, and courage, that's a huge cost. When we push away joy, worried about something, well, I can't be joyful right now, there's another shoe's gonna drop. Junior's gonna mess it up. I just know it. You're pushing away the joy, the practice of joy. And what you're squandering is resilience, strength, and courage. The good news. In our research, we found that everyone who showed a deep capacity for joy had one thing in common. What do you think it is? Take a guess. We've been talking about it here for the last week. Somebody willing to and experiences deep senses of joy. What do they have in common? Take a guess. It doesn't hurt to guess. Derek Anderson, you need to go straight to the front of the class. Derek said it the very first answer. Derek, are you paying attention? They practiced gratitude. Didn't say they experienced it. Said they practiced it. How many times does this word practice come up? Right, Kim? How many times does the word practice come up in the things that we sit here and share? And our research had found that everyone who showed a deep capacity for joy had one thing in common. They practiced gratitude. In the midst of joy, there's often a quiver, a shudder of vulnerability. Rather than using that as a warning sign to practice the worst case scenario, the people who lean into joy use the quiver as a reminder to practice gratitude. That's it for today. We got through today real nice. Some really, really quality material we discussed here today. Tomorrow will be the same. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about some really neat stuff. Let's just dwell in the moment here. Let's just hang out for about 5 minutes with each other. You can ask a question, you don't have to. Let's just make a comment, say something good and something kind to somebody here. Let's dwell in the moment for the next 3 or 4 minutes. Just wallow. Wallow in our connection here. I feel so good. Let's just wallow in the moment. Nipper's up. He's about business this week. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to know he's taking care of some serious business that needs to get handled, and I have every belief that that's what's happening. Thank you, Billy D. Let's just. I want to. That's it. We're in the afterglow part of the set here, Michael. Thank you, Queenie. I did too. Don't have shame. Shame robs us. Shame isolates us. There is absolutely nothing that you've ever done in the past that can take your joy away today. Nothing. I don't care how bad you think it was. My worst crime? I robbed a gas station when I was in my ute. I don't tell very many people that I robbed a gas station. But I also make it sound like I was a gangster, and I wasn't. Because when I robbed the gas station, it was an involuntary rob. Okay? I have a couple of minutes. I'm going to tell you the story. Do you guys remember my telling you a couple weeks ago about David? And he was the nephew of the Colombian that we were working for, Uncle David, Tio David. I told you guys David was crazy, and that my job was to keep him from being crazy. Remember that? I didn't do my job this day. Here's what happened. I'm on a motorcycle. He's on the back of the motorcycle with me. We're going around places, probably up to no good. And the motorcycle threw the chain. The chain like came off of the sprocket. So had to push it over to a gas station. Like I'm in the parking spaces at a gas station. And I'm trying to, it's up on the kickstand, and I'm trying to get the chain put back on. David's standing around. He's not helping me. I don't need help. And the gas station attendant, it was like one of those locked boxes that they work out of, where only he can get in and he can get out. The gas station attendant, for some reason, opened up his locked box and he came out. I think he was going to come over and see what are you guys doing with the motorcycle in my parking lot or whatever. And as soon as David saw the door open to the gas station, he was like a kitty, he was like a cat, like a panther. He pounced and he ran over to the booth before the guy had a chance to close the door. He shoves the guy out of the way and he jumps into the booth and he pulls out the cash drawer. And neither of us smoked, but for some reason he grabbed like cartons and cartons of cigarettes. Now he's running across the parking lot. Oh, I forgot to tell you this part. We had to leave the motorcycle there because I couldn't get the chain back on. So I had to leave the motorcycle at the gas station. And I went and got it in my truck. So we go back to the gas station. I'm going to load the motorcycle onto the truck. And it was in the midst of loading it onto the truck that this happened. He's pushed his way into the booth and he's robbed it. Pushed this guy away. And now he's running across the parking lot with arms full of stuff, yelling out, "Go, go, go!" And I'm like trying to push my bike on a ramp up the truck. And it hits me immediately that this guy has robbed the gas station. And so he's, "Go, go, go!" And we both jump in the cab of the truck and take off. Mannix out of there. Rockford file driving. And we go through the canyon, all of a sudden helicopter. Helicopter is out looking for the mustard colored truck. So pull it into a park area and parked it underneath a bunch of trees where we couldn't be seen. And just stressing and sweating, and I'm slugging David. I'm slugging him and go, "What the son of a bee, what the hell did you..." I'm like, "What the..." I'm all in the moment. And then click, your motorcycle's back at the gas station with a license plate on it. Registered to you. I wonder if I went back to get the motorcycle. How many of you would have gone back to get the motorcycle? You've got about $42 and a bunch of cigarettes. That was my first gas station robbery. Cost me a motorcycle. I couldn't go back. They impounded it. No, impounded it. I did report it stolen. But by the same token, I was also afraid that I'd get interrogated to death if I ever went to recover it, etc., etc. So, no, I sacrificed the motorcycle. I'm not going near the motorcycle. So, David, you owe me a motorcycle. Did I ever get it? No. Okay? No. Yeah, like they're gonna believe that I mean, like the gas station guy didn't see my face there. Okay? Sue, that was the first and last. I would never go near a gas station with David again. I was like, Dave, I gotta get gas. Get out. Stay here. I'll come back and pick you. Put him at a bus stop. Get out. I'm gonna go fill up with gas. I'll be right back. Well, I mean, come on, man. I'm not gonna rob another gas station. Ah, yeah, you are. All you need to do is see the crack of the door open. No. Get out. So you make David wait at a bus stop while I go and get gas. What are we doing when we're kids? Are we out of control? And now I'm over here telling you guys to practice kindness. What we did to the gas station guy was not kind. Okay? I know, Sid. Your kindness will be a gift you have to share. Does anybody think Pops was crazy when he was a kid? Give me 5 people. Like, why was I even hanging around this group? Like, I'm acting all innocent. Well, I mean, it was his fault. You're hanging around a dude that is a loose cannon, and your job is to keep him from losing it, and you're lucky Uncle David didn't fire you. Okay? Creeping out of the canyon, worrying if we're going to get... I don't want to go to jail for a pack of cigarettes and $43 in change. Okay? These are great stories. So if you've ever robbed a gas station, we can talk. No shame. All right? If you've ever, like I'm saying, there isn't a whole lot of crime or stuff you guys can pull off that Pops wasn't somewhere in the neighborhood. Okay? And I like my life today better. It's way better today than the hearing helicopters. I gotta be honest with you. I haven't heard a helicopter in quite some time now. Good luck. I mean, God bless. I love you guys. I love what we do here. 4 things. Okay? 4 things. Be impeccable. If I was practicing being impeccable, I would have stayed right there in the gas station. And I would have said, that guy right there that's jumping in the cab of my truck and yelling, go, go, go. He's the one that you want. And if you wouldn't mind, can you help me push the bike up onto the truck? Okay? But instead, I jump in the truck and take off. So, be impeccable. Don't take things personally. Don't have expectations, except you could expect to get arrested if you're ripped off a gas station. And do your best. Based off of our haul that day, we should have done better. Get out of here. Have a great day, you guys. Derek Anderson and Jimmy Max and Herbie. No, it was a 350 Honda. It wasn't even the greatest bike, so I didn't lose a lot, but it was a 350 Honda. Billy D, HP, Sue Littlemeyer, Derek Anderson, Jimmy, Herbie, Jesus, Kim I Am, Captain Obvious, HB, Jason Wyeth, good morning, Sue, Lou City 2, where in the world are the best mushrooms? At the Detroit Mush Lab. At the Detroit Mush Lab at gmail.com. Everybody knows that answer. Okay? Or Mexico. Red Boy the Mexican, Jimmy, Captain, love ya, Billy D. Much mellower life today, right, Bill? Lynette and Kimberly, and Herbie and Justin, and Jesus Christ and HB and Nerdy, love you, kid. Sue Littlemeyer, Sammy P. Be impeccable. Don't take things personal. Don't have expectations, and do your best. Sammy's got it memorized. Lynette, Captain, Vegas, have a wonderful day. Jesus and Billy D and Sanum, good morning. Have a good day. Derek and Cleany and Mellow and Kim and Laura, have a divine day. Exception, love you, Sue, Jimmy Max, Nippy, Cat Meowzilla, Mr. Phillips, Jolie, Derek Anderson, Anthony T, Michael Patterson, Herbie and Kim, and Melissa G. Good morning, Melissa. Sammy P, Nippy and Laura, and Sammy P and Melissa. Pops, peace. Your kindness will be a gift you have to share. So not too much oil. Out.